Morning. So glad everybody's here. Today we are going to use our foam roller. So hopefully everybody has a foam roller. And I just want to start. We're going to start standing and just do a few just gentle stretches. We don't really have to do them before foam rolling, but I think it'll feel good. So we're going to do them. So let's just go ahead and take a big inhale up. And exhale. Let's do it again. Take an inhale and exhale. And on the next exhale, we will take our side bend. So just grab a wrist and gently go over to one side and then the other. So we'll do that a few times. I'll be talking to us about foam rolling and the benefits and the cautions and all of that while we're moving. So let's take another big inhale and just fold down, gently looking at our legs, and then sway right and left. Interesting thing about foam rolling, bring it all the way back up. We're going to do those side bends again. Maybe add a little back bend if you choose, squeeze in your glutes, and another forward fold, just kind of increasing that breath and increasing the heat in our bodies. The interesting thing about foam rolling is that you can do it as a warm-up. So come up again, inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to put our foam roller on the ground and just put a foot on top of it, and we're just going to roll. So you can use a foam roller as a warm-up. You can actually use it as sort of a workout. Or you can use it post-workout as a recovery. Any of those are good, and they have different benefits. Rolling it, when you roll, you don't want to roll over your joints. You want to roll more over your bigger muscle areas. So as I'm doing the foot, that's kind of that seems a little counterintuitive to what I just said, because we don't have any major muscle areas in our feet, but there's a lot of little ones. So just roll mostly in the center of that foot, and you're not putting much weight on it, right? We're already practicing our balance right now, keeping your weight on your other leg and just kind of keeping a nice tight core. Okay, let's just shake our legs out and switch legs. So what you're doing when you roll is a self-myofascial release. You've probably heard of myofascial release and going to like a massage therapist or a physical therapist to get that. Your fascia is your connective tissues that surround your muscles. And there's a whole like network in there of ligaments and tendons, connective tissues, and they can get tight and restricted and actually kind of dehydrated is a good way to describe them. And they need to be stretched back out, and they need a little love and attention given to them. Okay, taking it in the middle right here. And honestly, with your foot, and then you can take it off and just shake it out. With your feet, you might prefer just a little ball, like a lacrosse ball. I know a lot of you have one of those, but that is a great thing to do in the morning or evening, just to roll your foot on a kind of a hard ball to give that myofascial release. We're actually going to go to our mat, and we're going to put the foam roller in front of us and sit down and put our lower legs, our calves on it. Whenever I do these things and look at myself, I think I should have worn some colored tights, right? I've got a black foam roller and black leggings on. Okay, so we're going to take our right leg and just cross it over the left. So here's my feet, here's my legs on the foam roller. I don't want to roll over my joints, so I'm going to be above my ankles, and I'm going to try to pick myself up. Now, this can be the hard part because you are holding yourself, balancing, and I'm just going to start moving just slightly, not very far, not more than an inch or so, just back and forth. The hard part can be holding yourself up. So you do have a few options. If it's too hard and you need to take pressure off, try to lay down and still pick your hips up. Or even for less pressure, just lay down or sit and roll. You don't have to have the hips up. The way you get the release is by putting pressure, but you get to control how much pressure you're putting on that foam roller, right? So if it's too much, if it's painful, I should talk about that at the beginning. If it's painful, then you need to take some of that pressure off, all right? Now we've been foam rolling at our calf for a little bit, so we are I'm just gonna take my other foot and inch it a little closer, higher up on my calf. So now I am more medium top of my calf as I foam roll. So I see my sweet grandbaby Moses popping in. We're using the foam roller our whole time today. Most of our time. We might do a few stretches at the end. And we're just doing a small motion. It's not, there's not a lot of activity going on in your body, but there is a lot of activity going on to release those muscles. Now I'm going to move it up 1 more inch. So I'm just below my knee. Now again, remember, we don't want to roll over our knees. And I'm going to pick myself up again. And if your wrists are getting too tired, try to lay down, just go on your forearms and do the same thing. Or lay down, take some pressure off, and just move back and forth. So up to you. I'm showing it this way as well. A funny thing about foam rolling, to get what you need, the action in those connective tissues, you have to use your core strength a lot as well to support you. Have you noticed that already? Maybe so. Okay, we're going to come up. How about your heat? Do you already feel some heat in your body? I already feel a little bit of sweat going on. So I'm just going to take an inhale and an exhale right here. And we're going to do the other leg. So just scoot it back down to right above the ankle and cross it over. And we're going to do that same thing. I'm just going an inch front and back. Now, some of you're probably not feeling any tension here, not really any pain. This isn't an area of tightness for you. That is great. So if you were doing this on your own, and you're like, I don't really feel much, then just spend about 20 seconds there and move on. Our bodies are all different, so I'm going to give us some extra time right here. All right, I'm going to move it to the middle of my calf, cross it over, and go again. Always good to be mindful, pay attention to those bodies, and see where you have that extra pain. And if it's really painful, again, another reminder, then you need to back off on your pressure. All right, we're going to move it up 1 more time. The top of our calf now, but still below the knee joint, and roll again. And maybe your wrists need a break and you just want to lay down, pick your hips up, do that back plank, and roll right here. Little movement back and forth. It's good to be able to give yourself a massage, right? I mean, ideally, I much prefer someone else giving me a massage, but I don't have that option 24/7. So the nice thing about a foam roller is you can give your own massage to yourself whenever you need it. All right, relax. Woo! That one got me a little sweaty again. How about you? Okay, now I'm going to come, instead of like working to what would make sense right through our body and moving to our upper thighs, I am going to turn us over. We are going to work our upper thighs, but we're going to turn over so that we can give our wrists a break, is what I wanted to say. So we're going to turn over right here and put the foam roller right above your knees and come out like you're in a plank. So right above your knees, but not on the joint. And then just try to relax those legs. Now this one is for your quadriceps, and there's a great chance that it is going to feel more tension, a little tighter than your calves did. When we started at the feet and then moved to the calves, those two areas are great to stretch so that you don't struggle with plantar fasciitis, which is in the bottom of your feet, and it comes from those calf muscles getting too tight and pulling back. They cause two problems. They cause shin splints, and they cause problems in your feet from the muscle pulling. So if you're struggling with any of those, you probably did feel it a lot in the lower body. But because you have most of your body weight resting right now on the foam roller, this is probably getting good and deep. Now we're going to just walk our arms back so that the foam roller went to more the middle of your thighs. And we're foam rolling right here. And if you find this to be too much, then I would say get a pillow, something to rest on, and do the same thing, or put more of your lower, you can bend and put more of your lower body weight back here, back on your feet. Shift your weight a little bit so it's not just all on the top of your thighs. Because I know this can get to be too much for people, depending on what's tight and hurting on you. Okay, we're going to roll back a little more. And so you're a little higher on your hips. Might not feel it quite as much here. Just roll and roll. Good. So you can see that this could be a great warm up because your body's getting warm. You're getting blood flow through to all your muscles. But then it can be a great recovery because you're encouraging all that connective tissue just to stretch back out after you've been contracting your muscles. So both are good. Okay, we're just going to gently walk it back. Come off for a second. Just take that foam roller in front of you in a little child's pose and just stretch. So just giving a stretch that will let your breath come back. Take your inhale and exhale. And we're going to turn back over. So now we are going to do our hamstrings, the back of our thighs. So go ahead and just sit on it. So I'm sitting black on black. I'm sitting on the foam roller. I do have a blue one, but I don't like it as well. It's a lot softer. And that's another point. When you're getting your foam roller, the softer ones are nicer for beginning. They don't give as much pressure. And then the harder they get, the more pressure you're going to get. Or you can get the ones with ridges. Okay, I'm going to take my hands behind me, and I'm going to go off the joints and onto the muscles and start rolling those hamstrings. Good. So just letting right below the glutes, right below the butt, just rolling back and forth right here. You can do this with your legs out or with your legs crossed, either one. So maybe try it and see what you think. But if you cross your legs, you're going to notice that you're going to get, one a little more than the other. So honestly, on the hamstrings, I like to keep them uncrossed. Okay, now we're going to roll back to more the middle of our hamstrings, middle of the thighs. Good. And again, you could sit on the ground and take some pressure off. Or you could go to your forearms behind you. Good. Now we're just going to walk back. So we're kind of just above the knees and moving back and forth. Gentle movement here. Good. You're doing great. It can be interesting to think about when you bring awareness to your body, Like my hamstrings tend to be really tight, but this foam rolling isn't too bad for me today, which is a good thing on the hamstrings. Okay, I'm going to come back forward so that I'm sitting on my foam roller again. And then, you know, the figure 4 stretch that we do, where we cross one leg over. So I'm crossing a leg over right here, letting it hang. Good. Now I'm going to lean towards the leg that I just crossed over, and I'm just going to give a gentle roll right here. You can lean back a little more, whatever feels good to you. Not trying to get on that bone, but just trying to roll. This, for me, I do feel more. I feel more tightness here, a little more pain, not bad pain. We never want to feel the pain that's like so intense that it's like taking your breath away. If you feel that, you need to back off on the pressure. But if it's uncomfortable, I'm okay with that. That's what we're working on getting rid of that. Good. Great. We'll go a few more breaths, a few more seconds here. Now, I just want you to roll over to the other side. We're not changing our legs or anything. We're just rolled over. And I want you to do the same thing on the other butt cheek without changing the position of your legs. Good. The nice thing about the foam roller is you can kind of play with it. As long as you're remembering those rules, you're not rolling over your joints, you're not having intense pain, you can move it around to different areas and see what feels good to you. Okay, now we're going to come back up and we're going to uncross and switch to the other leg. So the other leg's on top. We'll start with that same side if you're okay. Just if you need to take a break on that one, you can. Won't matter which side you go to first. We're just going to give that gentle rocking again. Front and back. That looks good. So obviously you can see that there's not a lot of thinking that needs to go on while you're foam rolling. So you could put on your favorite podcast, your music you love. You could watch your TV show and be loving on your body at the same time. All right, let's switch it to the other hip and go again. Good. Oh, I got a squeaky board underneath me on this one. It's funny, I found that little magic. I have a couple of them in here. Good. All right. Nice job rolling out right there. Now let's come to the ground and put the foam roller right behind us. So it's perpendicular to our body. And we're going to roll our lower back. I love rolling through my back on the foam roller. So I need you to come off so that you're right above your hips. Now, you can have your hands behind you and just that's probably the best right here, but you shouldn't have much pressure on them, right? Everybody here is pretty strong. So there's not really, like I'm going to fall forward if I totally pick my hands up, but they're really just here for balance. So no weight on your hands right here, just balance, and you're rolling through your lower back. Good. The nice thing is the way our bodies are built, unless your spine really protrudes out, and hopefully it doesn't, you're going to be okay. You're not ever going to be rolling over, your spinal column, because your muscles will take the brunt of that. Now we're going to just walk a little bit forward. I'm going to pick my hands up. You could, I'm going to the middle of my back. You could keep your hands down if you had to, but if you're okay, you're going to have your hips off the ground, and you're just going to the middle of your back for that roll. Just back and forth right there in the middle of your back. So my hips are off the ground. My shoulders obviously are off the ground. I got my hands in front of me, or wherever you want them to be. You can even rest them on the foam roller, won't matter. This one does take a little bit of strength in the lower body and the core to keep yourself up. Okay, now we're gonna walk a little further forward. I'm right below my shoulder blades. Now, I might kind of break my rule right here and roll over my shoulder blades. But as you do, because there's a bone, but yeah. So as you're rolling, just kind of relax your arms back, maybe behind your head, across your chest. I like them back though, because it's going to get more of the muscle right there. Really going to roll over that muscle. I'm not to my neck, but I am in my upper back, rolling front and back. Good, you're doing great. Just think of giving yourself a massage. So maybe you put on your spa music, you're massaging your back. And then I'm going to go a little further forward, so more of a bridge, higher up. So if that's too much, just let your hips drop down and have a gentle rock. But if you can, oops, don't cut your ponytail like I just did. That doesn't feel good under the foam roller. Just going back and forth at the top, not to your neck, but just right there at the top of the back of your shoulders. And one more. Good. All right, come up. I'm going to give us a bigger stretch and kind of a relaxation move. And then we'll do some chest and stuff too. And this one actually does start your chest. We'll just be rolling our chest in a moment. But I want you to lay down on your foam roller. So the foam roller is going the length of my back. Now, some of you may have short foam rollers, and that won't work as well for you. So you're going to let your hips be on the ground if that's what's going on for you. I want you to take your arms all the way out to a wide T. So they ought to be able to gently touch the ground right here without any, your palms are facing up. So the back of your hand should easily be touching the ground. And then let's just move them up to that wide position. Again, they should be touching the ground. And if you feel a lot of tightness under or right in the front, like at your chest and armpits, this is a great one that you can have a friend give a gentle push down in that area to increase the stretch. Okay, take those arms overhead to that eye and see if your back of your hands can touch the ground. I struggle a little bit here. I got some tightness. So my fingers are touching the ground, but not the back of my hands. Good day, yes? I mean, it's a good day always, right? But good flexible day, yes. And this is a stretch you could just hold for a while, moving through. Now you can do this, let's take it back to the T, but bend your arms like a goalpost. Okay, so here is where my tightness is showing up. I was feeling pretty good about myself with my arms extended, but honestly, my arms ought to be able to rest on the ground right here, and they're not. I don't know if you can see it, but oh, that's pretty bad. I knew I was tight there, but my arms are about 4 inches away from the ground. So I knew I've been having some tightness in my chest and shoulders lately, and there it is. So this would be a great place for me to get someone to gently push down, trying to increase the stretch. Gently, make sure it's a good friend, not your spouse that you've just had an argument with, right? But this is a focal point to pay attention to. All right. Put those hands down, come up, and I want you to come all the way off that foam roller. We're going to do a similar stretch, but this time we're going to have our hips on the ground. So to start. And then the foam roller is going to our back. Put your feet like in a bridge, and now let your butt drop down again. So now my hips are off the ground, probably about 3 or 4 inches, and you may have to find a place that feels okay and comfy, doesn't cause you pain in your back, but you're getting that bigger chest stretch, opening up your rib cage. Now take your palms out again. Again, my hips are not on the ground, but if you need to have yours touching the ground, then do that if it's too painful. And then try to take those hands to some goal posts. Oh yeah, I feel a lot of tightness. A few of you do as well. Some of you have your elbows touching the ground. That is great. And then reach those arms on up, just like you're reaching to the top of your foam roller. If it's sticking out above your head pretty far, if it's long. And then just bring it back again like we do on our cactus or our W stretch. Opening up right there. Oh, yeah. So I won't stay here a long time. We've already been doing the other one, but this is a great stretch. I guess you would kind of need the TV to be right above your head if you're going to do it while you're watching TV. No, you can look to the side. But this is a great stretch to hold for a long time and let your body open up. But we'll go ahead and come off. How about it? All right. On our next one, we are going to take the foam roller parallel to our body and put it under our armpit, but not quite under the armpit, just close. Now take this other hand and put it kind of so you're like this position right here. Good. I kind of want to watch at the same time a little. So I'm going to go here and I'll back up. We're just going to rock a little side to side right here. Good. Now increase your range of motion. So it's a little awkward, really stretching. And just play with it. Put more, like lean towards the left side of your body if your right arm is out. And then lean toward the right side. See how it feels. Also, try turning your thumbs up towards the ceiling. And you can try them in different positions. So you can turn them up toward the ceiling. You can turn them front. You can even try to rotate them back or all the way under. All the way under is going to start getting the back of your arm, which is a nice stretch as well. So just kind of play around. Good. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so you can see me better. And we'll switch sides. Whoops. Just bring that one to the other. Take your arm underneath. Get wherever's comfy. And just roll. So this arm, I've been having some issues in my arm, and now I feel it right there in my bicep. So at first, with my thumb facing kind of forward and down, I can really get a bigger stretch in my bicep. Now I'm going to turn my thumb up, and my arm starts to rotate a little bit. And it's actually going to get some of your back as well. Now I'm going to take that thumb all the way down and under. So my palm actually, if it works for you, is facing the ceiling, but it's by taking my thumb up, rotating it all the way down. And I'm going to get more of the back of my arm right here. Good, you're doing great. I can send you to a little cheat sheet of all of these as well if you would like, because I know it's easy to forget these. And I actually have a PDF of, that I gave out a year or so ago with foam rolling exercises. So, all right, release that. We don't have many more we're going to do, but we have done, so come on off. Just take your breath. We've done the front of our thighs, the back of our thighs, lower legs, feet, chest, back, some shoulders. We're going to do our inner thighs. So I'm going to take my leg over the foam roller all the way over so my knee's on the other side. Trying to figure out the best way for you to see this. So my knee is over here, and I'm going to come down. I'll turn back this way again. let you see. That, yeah, I think that's better. Right here. Good. So I'm going to come down and I've got my inner thigh resting, and we're going to do that same thing just like we did on the other parts of our legs. We're going to start just above our knee. You might feel some tightness in here, just rolling back and forth. Good. And then I'm going to move it up a few inches. And you want to make sure you don't let the knee rotate up. So you want to keep your foot facing forward, not down or up, so you get that inner thigh. Good, you're doing great. Awesome. And then even a little higher. Now, this one might help for you to come up into a plank. You're kind of just right there below your hips. Keep your knee bent at that 90-degree angle as you're rolling. Good. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. So we started, so the knee's on the outside. We started just above the knee, and you could be laying flat right here. Nice thing about this is nope extra pressure anywhere in the body, right? You get to relax and just roll back and forth right above the knee. Now we're going to move it to the middle of the thigh. Keep that 90-degree angle. Keep the, don't let the knee rotate down or up. Good, you're doing great. And one more, bringing it in a little closer. But on this one, you might want to bring it to more of a plank as you roll. Good. You're doing great. Okay, I bet a lot of you are thinking, you haven't done the one that hurts me the most. You're right. Why did I save the worst for last? It just depends on your body. We're going to go down the outside. So we just did the inner thigh. Now we're going to go down the outside. This one is slightly debated because we have an IT band, iliotibial band, that goes down the outside of our body. If you feel way too much pressure when you do this, you've got to back off. Don't put so much weight on it, or don't do it at all. Okay, so I'm facing sideways. I'm going to pick my hips up, and I'm going to go right below my hip joint. And right in that space, I'm going to start a gentle rock. I've got this top leg just in front so it can bear weight. You could always, you can come down right here and get off your wrist. And as we go to different places on our bodies, you may need to readjust different places on our legs. But I'm just rolling. So now my knee and toes of my bottom leg are facing front so that I'm getting the outside. And for most of us that work out at all, this area gets really tight. And this one is a little uncomfortable. Okay, so you want to just move slowly through that area. Now I'm going to move it down. So I'm going a little closer or more the middle of my leg. May feel better, may feel worse. And again, you can come to your forearm. You just readjust your body slightly. And you're just rolling. If you needed, you could have some pillows stacked up to help you, like to support your upper body. Okay, I'm going to go a little lower. Now, I'm getting closer to my knee, but not at my knee. Good, just rolling right here. You're doing great. Doesn't feel so great, but you're doing great. Good, now I'm going to let you just come off all the way so that right above your chest is on that foam roller. And we're actually going to roll right there. So, you know, take this back leg, top leg. If you're on the side, facing sideways, take your top leg, put it right behind you and bend it. Now let it support the weight and slightly pick up those hips like a side plank and roll right here. Good, just hitting those lats. Oh yeah, I bet that you feel some tension in there. We work that pretty hard and we don't give it much attention in a stretch. Maybe go a little closer towards your arm. And relax. Okay, we're going to flip to the other side. So we started with the top part right here of our, right below the hip. You can have this back leg be in front. I think that helps the most. Your knees or toes of your bottom leg are facing forward, and we're just rolling back and forth right here. So just about 4 inches, top 4 inches of my thigh are on the foam roller. Good. Gonna move it a little bit towards down my leg. We get a lot of core workout with the foam roller, right? We're doing side planks. And then I'm gonna go even a little further down. Maybe put both hands on the ground, up to you. Keeping the knee and toe facing forward. So you're getting right there at the bottom of that muscle. Good. All right, we're going to just roll, pick your hips up so you don't roll over the joint. Lay down on the side, and we'll do the same thing. We'll take this top leg, put it right behind us, and pick up your hips and just roll right there. Let your lats, so you're kind of slightly rolling backwards, just a little bit. Hips are off the ground. Good. Doing great. And one more. Good. So we actually rolled from our feet all the way up through our shoulders. And we're going to just come to a simple seated pose and take this foam roller in front of us and just do a few stretches here at the end. So I just want you to pull it. It's okay if yours is small or big. It'll work either way. Just pulling back and pulling forward. Good. Now take it straight overhead and just rotate and rotate. This would be, you could do this at the beginning or end or any time just to kind of stretch out your spine. And then pull it back again and just hold it there. Good. Releasing it down, bend. Can you bend those arms? If your foam roller is, Diane's like, no. If your foam roller is shorter, that is much harder. Okay, just take it to one side, giving that side stretch. You can take your fingers out from under the bottom and just stretching over to the side. When I was going to fitness centers at the different corporations, pre-pandemic, let's go the other side. There was a gal at one place I would go that would come in like clockwork every time. She would come into the little fitness center. You know, she was dressed all in her work clothes, and she would just foam roll her back out for about 5 minutes, and then she would leave and I'm sure go back to her desk and work. So yeah, it can just be something, just a minute or two can make a big difference. Bring that foam roller in front of you again. And we're just going to do a gentle twist side to side right here. And then we're going to put it in front of us and we're just going to walk it out again like we did earlier. And just let your, tell you what, you've had that one foot on top for a while. Let's cross the other one on top. Now, yeah, it's probably your more awkward one. Just reach it out and feel that lower back stretch. Feel your shoulders stretch some more. Now we're going to just take our hands over to one end of the foam roller to the same end and stretch. And then to the other one. Good. Now back to the center. Let your hands stay on the foam roller, but let the forehead go to the mat. So you're just, again, big stretch in that back. Now you also probably feel some stretch in your shoulders and your arms as well. And then we're going to come on up. So one thing that you might experience from working with the foam roller that is not great is some tension in your neck. So I want to just finish our time together with a little love for our neck area. So drop that chin to the chest and then just gently keeping it down, take it to chin to one shoulder, back to the chest, to the other shoulder, back to the chest. Now we're going to go ear to shoulder. Now when I did my ear to shoulder, I want to pick up my opposite one and pull it up. That's because I'm tight. Instead, I'm going to take my opposite one and push away. So trying to increase the stretch right here, decrease the space by pulling my ear down to my shoulder, not my shoulder up to my ear. Good. And keep that hand right there and just turn and drop your chin down a little bit. Now release this hand, take the same hand as the direction your head is pointing and just pull down. This one stays down and release. Come up and we'll do that same thing on the other side. So ear to shoulder, gentle push away with the opposite hand. Good, releasing tension in the neck. And then drop that chin down. And take that hand and gently pull, keeping the other shoulder dropped. So you're giving your own resistance here. You're kind of pulling down with your hand, resisting a little bit with your head. And then release. Let's do a few just like gentle. I know that might make you feel tight because we just did a little pressure. So we're just going to gently rock and then rotate again. Good. Take your inhale up again. Exhale. We're going to just do some side bends to finish like we started. Gentle side bends. Inhale and exhale. Everybody did awesome today. I hope that is helpful to you, especially paying attention to any areas that felt a lot of tightness. What we need to do now is drink a lot of water to go ahead and flush out those toxins, any of the stress that is in the body. We want to flush it on out. So drink a lot of water in the next couple of hours and throughout your day, and have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks so much.